Tommy sounded hopeful. "Ew," contributed Angela. "Tommy, don't gross your sister out." A phone rang. Mary glanced at the screen of her smartphone, then started to text. "Okay, there's only one way to find out." I put down my leather veterinary bag and slipped on a pair of exam gloves. "Maybe the kids should leave the room?" No one budged. Mary didn't even look up. "I'll need a large garbage bag and some newspapers." The family eyeballed me. Mary, still texting, headed for the kitchen. The kids stayed, not wanting to miss anything. Under their watchful eyes, I searched for my bandage scissors and gauze pads. Even Damien reined in his imaginary horse, raised the Pop-Tart in the air like a sword, and stood next to his brother. Gingerly, I unplugged the vacuum from the wall outlet. Their mom returned, clutching a stack of newspapers and some garbage bags. After handing them to me, she called to her daughter. "Come here, Angie." The girl ran over and pressed her face into Mary's waist. With newspapers covering the rug, I opened the red plastic latch, securing the vacuum bag, then reached in and pulled it free. Using the blunt side of my scissors, I slowly cut along the top with my finger as a guide. I reached inside. Like a magician, I pulled out a brown hamster covered in lint. The little guy's eyes were closed tight, but on quick exam he seemed to be okay. I picked all the lint off his fur and stroked his head. Suddenly his eyes popped open, black and bright. He looked around and squeaked. "Hooray!" the kids cheered. Still holding the hamster in my hand, I glanced at Tommy. "Get Peanut's cage and bring it here. He needs a little quiet time." "Dad! Dad! Dad!" Damien called out gleefully, then started to gallop again. With Peanut safely stuffing his cheek pouches with food, I gathered the family together for a stern lecture on pocket pets and electrical appliances. It turned out Tommy wasn't a bad kid, just careless. I reminded them about supplementing Peanut's food with a hamster multivitamin, since hamsters, like people, don't make their own vitamin C. After Mary settled her bill over the phone, we looked at Peanut's habitat, and I made some suggestions for improvements. The kids started talking about maybe getting a dog, and Damien offered me the last bite of his squished Pop-Tart. A quick glance at my watch told me that I was already running late for my second appointment of the day. "Thanks so much, Dr. Kate," Mary said, taking the newspapers from my hand. "We'll be much more careful with Peanut in the future, I promise." I followed her through the living room to the front door. "Make sure you observe him carefully the next few days and call me if there are any problems." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her give me a speculative glance. Then she said, "Did anyone ever tell you that you look a little like Meryl Streep, except younger?" Outside, I gunned the office truck, set the GPS, and headed for my next appointment. As I drove along Hamilton Lane, the skies darkened and rain began to fall. Spring in upstate New York could usher in sunny weather or buckets of rain. The windshield wipers barely kept up with the developing storm as lightning streaked over the trees, followed by booms of thunder. 15 minutes late stretched into a half hour as visibility worsened. Pooling water on the roads slowed everyone down. Finally, I turned into a long private driveway leading to an elegant brick mansion on 5 acres. Fat drops of rain pelted the windshield. Pulling my lab coat over my head, I jumped out of the truck and ran up the slippery front stairs to the front door. With 27 dogs barking, rain blasting down, almost as loud, I stood drenched in the noisy downpour. No, this wasn't an episode of Animal Hoarders. In fact, just the opposite. The dogs inside are pampered and fussed over like royalty, which they are. Vivian and Thomas Langthorne raise and show champion quality Cavalier King Charles spaniels, and each one was barking like crazy. Thunder boomed again as I lifted the dog-shaped brass knocker and banged it hard against the black lacquered front door.